Hello friends, today I am going to give most asked 25 questions and tell their answers. Watch this video up to the end if you are looking for good Web API interview questions and answers. So here we go. Question number 1, what is Web API? The answer is, Web API is a framework which helps you to create and develop HTTP-based RESTful services. Question number 2, why is Web API required? Is it possible to use RESTful services using WCF? The answer is, yes, we can still develop RESTful services with WCF. However, there are two main reasons that prompt users to use Web API instead of RESTful services. Web API increases TDD, test data-driven approach in the development of RESTful services. If we want to develop RESTful services in WCF, you surely need a lot of config settings, URI templates, contracts and endpoints for developing RESTful services using Web API. Question number 3, why select Web API? The answer is, it is used to create simple, non-SOAP-based HTTP services. It is also an easy method for creation with Web API. With WCF REST services, it is based on HTTP and easy to define, expose and consume in a RESTful way. It is lightweight architecture and ideal for devices that have limited bandwidth like smartphones. Question number 4, is it right that ASP.NET Web API has replaced WCF? The answer is, it's not at all true that ASP.NET Web API has replaced WCF. In fact, it is another way of building non-SOAP-based services, i.e., plain XML or JSON string. Question number 5, what are the advantages of Web API? The answer is, advantages of Web API are, OData filters, content negotiation, self-hosting, routing, model bindings. Question number 6, what are main return types supported in Web API? The answer is, a Web API controller action can return following values: void, it will return empty content; HTTP response message, it will convert the response to an HTTP message. ITPaction result, internally calls executeasync to create an HTTP response message. Other types, you can write the serialized return value into the response body. Question number 7, Web API supports which protocol? The answer is, Web App supports HTTP protocol. Question number 8, which .NET framework supports Web API? The answer is, .NET 4.0 and above version supports Web API. Question number 9, Web API uses which of the following open source library for JSON serialization? The answer is, Web API uses JSON.NET library for JSON serialization. Question number 10, by default, Web API sends HTTP response with which of the following status code for all uncaught exception? The answer is, 500 internal server error. Question number 11, what is the biggest disadvantage of other return types in Web API? The answer is, the biggest disadvantage of this approach is that you cannot directly return an error code like 404 error. Question number 12, smiley face, what is Web API routing? The answer is, routing is pattern matching like in MVC. All routes are registered in route tables. Question number 13, what is SOAP? The answer is, SOAP is an XML message format used in web service interactions. It allows to send messages over HTTP or JMS, but other transport protocols can be used. It is also an XML-based messaging protocol for exchanging information among computers. Question number 14, what is the benefit of using REST in Web API? The answer is, REST is used to make fewer data transfers between client and server, which make it an ideal for using it in mobile apps. Web API also supports HTTP protocol. Therefore, it reintroduces the traditional way of the HTTP verbs for communication. Question number 15, how can we use Web API with ASP.NET Web Form? The answer is, Web API can be used with ASP.NET Web Form. It can be performed in 3 simple steps. Create a Web API controller, add a routing table to application_start method of global.sax. Then you need to make a jQuery AJAX call to Web API method and get data. Question number 16, how do you can limit access to Web API to specific HTTP verb? The answer is, attribute programming plays an important role. It is easy to restrict access to an ASP.NET Web API method to be called using a particular HTTP method. Question number 17, can you use Web API with ASP.NET Web Form? The answer is, yes, it is possible to use Web API with ASP.NET Web Form, as it is bundled with ASP.NET MVC framework. However, it can be used with ASP.NET Web Form. Question number 18, how can assign alias name for ASP.NET Web API action? The answer is, we can give alias name for Web API action same as in case of ASP.NET MVC by using actionName attribute as follows. Question number 19, what is the meaning of testAPI? The answer is, testAPI is a utility library of APIs. Using this library, tester developer can create testing tools and automated tests for a .NET application using data structure and algorithms. Question number 20, explain exception filters? The answer is, it will be executed when exceptions are unhandled and thrown from a controller method. The reason for the exception can be anything. Exception filters will implement iExceptionFilter interface. Question number 21, how can we register exception filter from the action? The answer is, we can register exception filter from action using following code. Question number 22, how you can return view from ASP.NET Web API method? The answer is, no, we can't return a view from ASP.NET Web API method. Web API creates HTTP services that render raw data. However, it's also possible in ASP.NET MVC application. Question number 23, how to register exception filter globally? The answer is, it is possible to register exception filter globally using following code: global configuration, configuration, filters, add, new mytest customer store, noteImpleXception filter attribute. Question number 24, explain what is REST and RESTful. The answer is, REST represents representational state transfer. It is entirely a new aspect of writing a web app. RESTful, it is term written by applying REST architectural concepts as called RESTful services. It focuses on system resources and how the state of the resource should be transported over HTTP protocol. Question number 25, how can you handle errors in Web API? The answer is, several classes are available in Web API to handle errors. They are HTTP error, exception filters, HTTP response exception, and registering exception filters. Thank you for watching this video. See you in next video.